Hey YouTube, Matty's A12, Team JMT, coming to you guys with a deck profile overview of the deck that I played at the Indianapolis Regional this past weekend. I did get my invite. I did not play as well as what I really would have liked. I started off really slow, but finished strong and got my invite. So I'm quite proud of myself, but you know, because that's the goal, is to get your invite and move on. So let's get into the deck profile. 1 BLS, 2 Sorcerer, 1 Gores, triple T King, double Doom Cow, 1 Breaker, double DD Warrior Lady, 1 Gale, double Reaper, double Effect Veiler, and double Max C. I don't actually own any Max Cs. I borrowed these from a friend of mine, and these are some Orcas that his girlfriend made for me. Pot of Duality at 3, 1 Monster Reborn, Dark Hole, Double Smashing, Heavy Storm, MST, Book of Moon, Solemn Judgment, Double Solemn Warning, Double Deep Prison, Double Torrential Tribute, Double Fiendish Chain, and Double Compulse. That's the main deck, and the main deck sets at 41. That seems to be a pretty solid number for me. It seems like all of the times that I build this deck, it always ends up at 41. Side deck, a Double Banisher, triple Cyber Dragon, triple DD Crow, 1 Mind Crush, double Bottomless, 1 Vanity's Emptiness, 2 Mirror of Oath, 1 MST. The extra deck is pretty standard. I'm actually not even going to go into those just because I made Utopia twice and I made Gaia Knight once. And that was the only things that I made out of my extra deck. So yeah, extra deck's fairly standard. Chimera Tech was there. I could have made it, but I didn't. Yeah, there you go, guys. So the main deck. Let's talk about the monsters first, because that's where everybody starts. Okay, Doom Cow. Doom Cow was a lot better than what I was expecting. Doom Cow, a lot of people have gone away from playing Doom Cow because of all the hand traps that are out, mainly in Effect Veiler and Max C. You bring him out and people just drop the Veiler, drop the Max C to kill the to kill the Doom Cow, and you know everybody seems that doesn't serve its purpose anymore. However, what I seen happening was exactly that. People were dropping their Effect Veilers to kill Doom Cow. But what that was doing was it was allowing my Breaker to get off his effect, my Gale to get off its effect, my Chaos Elements, they were getting off their effects. Because he was there to eat up the Effect Veiler because they did not want him on the field, all of my other monsters got that much better because of what he did for me. Because him sacrificing himself against the Effect Veiler, all of my other monsters got that much better. Breaker, just eating up back rows all the time. If he's not popping and blowing them up himself, then my opponent is put in a situation where he is forced to use it, their warning, their solemn judgment even, to get rid of him. Just because if they don't use it, he's going to blow it up, and they're going to lose it. DD Warrior Lady, a very unexpected card. A lot of people were not expecting to see that, and it did really well because of that. Gale, along with Breaker, gave me Arcanite Magician. The play was there one time, but I had game in those 2 attacks, so I just went ahead and finished it off anyway. So yeah, I mean, it was there. Reapers were great. Max C. I was not satisfied with Max C at all. Max C was very lackluster. Maybe it's because of the matchups that I had. I really did not have ideal matchups for Max C to be used to its highest potential. You know, so in hindsight, I guess I would have rather those been a 3rd Effect Veiler, a 3rd Doom Cow, or maybe just a 3rd Effect Veiler and dropping the last one entirely and making it 40. But it really was not as good as what I thought it should have been. In fact, if I rebuild this deck for the Louisville Regional, I probably won't be having a Max C in it, just because it was not that good. Alright, Spells and Traps. Standard stuff was great. Double Smashing Ground was awesome. just great plays with it. I mean, forcing my opponent's Logia to remove the materials to negate smashing ground was so good. A lot of things that I was able to do with the smashing grounds made my matchup, especially against Dino Rabbit, a lot easier. Everything else was pretty standard. Fiendish Chain. I did not care too much for Fiendish Chain. It kind of feels redundant just because I have effect negation here, effect negation there, effect negation there. It was almost overkill. I was seeing myself using Fiendish Chain as more of an attack stopper than I was using it to negate effects. So I guess that could have been something different. A lot of people see that and they're like, oh, well, they're going to synchro with whatever monster you Fiendish Chain, and then your Gores isn't going to be good. As long as you're smart about when you play that, when you set that, Gores is always live and it never hurts you. But like I said, I used it to stop attacks more than I did anything else. So I guess that probably could have been a third D Prison and a Mirror Force. I probably could have changed them for those. But I really liked having Fiendish Chain there, and they're probably going to stay in there just because I like having that extra effect negation when I need it. Compulse, just great card. Forcing my opponent to neg himself, forcing my opponent to bring out his boss monster, and then I can compulse it and they get nothing out of the deal. Normally, their boss monsters are going to neg them in order to get them out, and Compulse just put in work. I loved Compulse this weekend. Compulse was just great for me. Side deck, fairly standard. Banisher was a great meta choice. Cyber Dragon, again, my matchups made Cyber Dragon that much better. I played Hero Beat twice. I played GKs. Cyber Dragon was just really, really good. Triple DD Crow, I don't know that I needed 3. I really like 3. I think DD Crow is needed for this meta. However, whenever I was putting in the DD Crows, I just never really knew what to take out to make room for the third. Finding room for the third DD Crow was just really hard. It seemed like anytime that I was side decking and bringing in Crow, I was only bringing in 2 just because I could not make up my mind on what to bring out for the third. Mind Crush was kind of a last minute thing. I was pretty set at my 14 and had the open slot. It really could have been about anything. It did become beneficial one time. So I guess it did serve its purpose. Bottomless was good. Vanity's Emptiness was excellent against the Dino Rabbit matchup, along with Mirror of Oaths, but we'll talk about that in just a second. Vanity's Emptiness forced him into playing Solemn Judgment when it was obvious that he did not want to play Solemn Judgment. He goes Rabbit and banishes it, and I play Vanity's Emptiness, and he has no choice but to Solemn Judgment it because he's not getting anything out of that deal, and it just really, really sucked for him. So he had to do something to stop Vanity's Emptiness, and he forced him into playing Solemn Judgment when he did not want to. Third MST is needed. Mirror of Oaths was an excellent meta choice, and I really feel like this needs to start showing up in some more side decks. Windups, Zenmighty summons from the deck. Dino Rabbit summons from the deck. Insectors, Dragonfly summons from the deck. All 3 of the top decks are summoning monsters from their decks. This can kill that monster and let you draw a card. Such a great choice. I loved that card yesterday, and it did such good work for me. Alright guys, so there is the deck profile. Go over the rounds real quick. I lost round 1 to Hero Beat. I lost round 2 to Gravekeepers. I won round 3 against an Exodia. I won round 4 against 6 Sams, and that was the only matchup that Max C was actually really good for me. Round 5 was Dark Worlds. Dark Worlds Doomcow put in a lot of work just because he got the bonus. Also, Gores. I had Gores game 1 and game 2, and Gores actually won me that matchup, gaining his attack power from the gates also. After Dark Worlds was another hero beat, which I won. Cyber Dragon. We just beat it face back and forth, and won out there. Then was Dino Rabbit, where I made the great plays with Vanity's Emptiness and Mirror of Oaths. And my last matchup was against Black Wings, which kind of turned into more of an anti-meta beat also because of his side deck. But yeah, so there you go, guys. That's what I played at Indy. I don't know that I'll be playing anything like this when I go to Louisville in a couple of weeks, but this could be what you see there, guys. So I appreciate it. Make sure you guys head over and check me out on Facebook. I'm always trying to post up something over there, some kind of conversation starter over there. I want to hear what you guys' thoughts on some of the card choices that I've made. So hit me up over there and let me know what you guys think. So hit me up on Facebook. And like always, guys, I appreciate it. And subscribe, comment down below, show us how much you love us.